Hey guys, welcome back here to Intuitive Angling, and really appreciate you guys checking out today's video and hanging out with me a little bit. Guys, I'm getting ready to go fishing this morning. I'm going down to Table Rock Lake, and you may have heard me talking about it a couple weeks ago where once or twice a week I'm going to start doing on the water videos. And also I'm going to start doing longer videos, like probably a lot more 20 to 30 minute videos. It seems like the YouTube algorithm has changed where they push out longer videos or the shorts. And in YouTube, you can't make any money on shorts. So I'm gonna start doing some longer videos and more on the water videos. But anyway, in today's video, what I wanna talk about is I'm getting ready to load the boat up right now, going down to Table Rock Lake. And I'm sort of gonna tell you my approach. Like I said, I hadn't been down to Table Rock in about probably, close to 2.5 or 3 weeks now. But I'm gonna tell you how I'm gonna approach it today, what my plan is, based upon the conditions we have, and sort of like give you an idea about, maybe it'll help you out how to prepare for your next fishing trip as well here. I'm also going to before we get started, guys, just a big thank you to everybody out there that's taken time to hit the subscribe button here at Intuitive Angling. Really appreciate that. Appreciate everybody that's been taking advantage of our Patreon and our channel memberships that we have. And finally, a big thank you guys for everybody that has just been using and bookmarking my Tackle Warehouse link in the description of this video. If you've been helping out like that, big thank you from me and the family. We really appreciate that. Okay, I'll sort of lay out the conditions here a little bit out of breath. Our dog got out. I had to run across about a half a mile away to catch her. I just got back in the room here. But anyway, this is how I sort of approach a day like today. We've got cloudy skies out. It looks like it's been raining a little bit last night. It's cold, well, not cold, it's cool. It's probably in the upper 30s, which is the type of day I like for wintertime fishing. I like to fish in overcast days with not much wind. We got a little bit of wind, but not much wind. And, normal, or maybe just a little bit below normal temperatures. Okay, given that, before I'm going, I sort of did a little, looking into how the lake's setting up, and the lake's about probably 5 foot low right now, down to winter pool, which I like. I like the water to be low in the winter time. So therefore, I know since the water's low and it's been pretty stable, we haven't had a lot of rain, that the water is probably going to be pretty clean. So I've got this combination, and I've also got the fact that I know the water temperatures are probably going to be anywhere between, mid to upper 40s, low 50s, depending upon what part of the lake you're in. Okay, given that, here is how I break it down. First of all, I have to determine what techniques I want to use. And like any other lake in the country, a lot of the bass at Table Rock live deep suspended. I'm not going to be concentrating on the live scope fish. I'm going to be concentrating on that depth zone of fish that I like to catch in probably 20 foot of water or less. I fit in my wintertime fishing technique, and the system I have to fish in the wintertime, even in real clear water, involves fishing in less than 20 foot of water, and even more apt, net less than 15 feet of water. So given that, since I'm targeting those fish in a little bit shallower water in the wintertime, I have to have a little bit different set of circumstances. I've got to look for an area of the lake that may be not off colored, but not the cleanest water in the lake. So say for example, if I go down to the dam area at Table Rock right now, the water visibility may be 6, 8, maybe even 10 foot clear. But if I go up into the mid part of the lake and I start venturing up into some of the creek arms, I may start getting into that water visibility of 4 to 6 feet. So that is what I'm looking for. I still want clean water. I don't want dirty water, but I don't want the clearest water. So that gives me a clue on where I want to start at. So knowing that, I'm probably going to go to the mid part of the lake. That's going to be my area. Okay. When I get to the mid part of the lake, I got to make 2 decisions, which I'll make on the way down there. I've either got to fish the main lake structures in this area or the major creek arm structures. Now, given the fact that we have a day where there's not much wind and it's overcast and everything, I'm probably going to concentrate more on the main lake structures. Now, if you guys watch the videos I do a lot, you hear me talking fishing a lot of major creek arms, and I love to do that. But I have found that in the wintertime, if you get a day where it's cloudy and there's not much wind, this is the time to take advantage of those main lake structures. So I've even narrowed it down further. I'm gonna be in the mid-lake part, that's where I'm gonna go to, and I'm gonna concentrate on main lake structure. So right there, it's eliminated a ton of the lake for me, and I can concentrate just on that. Once I get down there and identify, the main lake structures I want to fish, I have to determine what those are going to be. And knowing Table Rock like I do, there's going to be 2 or 3 different primary main lake structures that I'm going to concentrate on. Obviously main lake points, and then like bluff ends, channel swings, places where the main river channel, hits the bank, and maybe some ditches or guts that have submerged timber in it. So when I get down there, I'm gonna identify a couple of different areas. I may run 2 or 3 points, right off the bat. Then I may go back into, a cove arm and get in the middle of that cove arm and fan cast down the middle of that cove to try to fish some of that deeper suspended timber or submerged timber. And then I may get on a bluff end and I may parallel that bluff end all the way working up to the point. So I've got my 3 structures that I want to fish, and now I've got to determine the lure selection that I want. And knowing the lake that I do and knowing the water temperature we have right now, there's a couple different things that could work. I think I could probably catch some fish jigging a spoon out off points. I might be able to catch a few fish cranking like a wigglewort or a rock crawler parallel to some rocky banks. I know I can catch them on a jerk bait and probably an Alabama rig and a swim bait. So I don't want to do all that. I mean, I just want to go out and, I'm not going to have, I'll only have a half a day. So being the fact that, I look at the conditions, we don't have much wind, so that's going to tell me right off the bat that the A-rig and the crankbait probably won't be as good, because those 2 baits, you need a little bit of wind. So therefore, I've narrowed my bait selection down to like a jerk bait, a spoon, and a swim bait. Okay, I'm taking the swim bait out of the equation because I don't really like to fish for suspended fish with a swim bait in the wintertime. I mean, I do it and I catch a lot of fish, but I want to do something that I like to do. So my approach is going to be twofold. I'm going to be jigging a spoon, or like that blade bait, that Mega Bass, Diner Response blade bait, jigging a spoon on points, or fishing my jerk bait, either my Mega Bass X Nanahan +2, X80, maybe Vision 110 +1 Junior. I'm going to be fishing points. I'm going to parallel bluff banks with it, try to fish it over the top of that submerged timber. And that is my plan for the day. Now, since I only have a half a day, I don't have time to run around the lake everywhere and try a ton of different baits, but this is my system. It's like I've assimilated all of the information available to me, and I put together my tackle for the day. I've got a game plan laid out, and that's what it's gonna be. And if it may work out, it may not. I'm gonna film it. I'll have that video probably up tomorrow. Show you guys what I'm looking for, that type of stuff. But bass fishing is all about decisions. And so if you make the right decision, you look like you're a genius, like you know what you're doing. But if you don't make the right decision, sometimes you look clueless. But nevertheless, you have to make some type of decision. And I know that you have to keep an open mind, but it's hard to keep an open mind if you're only on the water for 3 or 4 hours on a day. You sort of have to commit to something. But that's my plan. That's how I put together this approach based upon the stuff I know. Every single week is different. It's like, I could tell you, say tomorrow I could do the same video, but maybe the wind's blowing 15 miles an hour and it's sunny out. The conditions are always going to dictate a different approach with it. But that's the way I did it, guys. I'll probably try to keep you updated on, different approaches like this throughout the season. So I'm going to get on down to the lake and hope you guys are well. We'll talk later.